Yes, Pratik, okay. I given host to you. Now we can start.
Thank you, Kishore. Hi, good morning, good evening, everyone, whichever part of the geography you have joined. Let me just quickly share my screen. Do let me know once you guys are able to see my screen as well. Can you see the screen share?
Yes.
Perfect. So first of all, welcome to this, I think one of the key modules in the world of the IT, which is the business analysis. People do also called as a business analyst, consultant, product consultant, right? So all these terminologies actually conglomerate to one specific role within the IT world, which is the business analyst. And I think that's where it sets the a strong foundation and the benchmark, because this is that one role which helps you to get into that strategic thinking mode, interact with your customers, understand how the overall, the business understanding and the consulting works, right? So with this, a quick introduction of mine. Myself, Pratik Singh, right? I'm there in the industry from last close to 14 plus years in the world of IT, doing a lot of multi-facet roles in consulting, pre-sales, solutioning, customer success, and overall project and program management, right? Currently, I'm working with Salesforce.com, being part of around close to 50 plus end-to-end implementation programs, whether you call it as a greenfield implementation or a brownfield implementation, or a cross cloud solutions, right? And I have been part of kind of driving the business advisory consulting for some of the key marquee customers across the world in different verticals. You call it as a BFSI, the banking and financial services, manufacturing, real estate, and IT services and consulting. So with this, let us give you a quick high-level view of the vision, which I think which we came up with as a part of SV Technosoft. Our vision is to make you successful by giving you that level of arms and ammunitions, right? That level of resources which will help you in terms of thriving in your current career. In the kind of the course, the way we have designed that, so we have put a lot of strategic thinking in terms of designing this module, because whenever you talk about business analyst, right, it's a product agnostic module, right? Because the business analyst is is a very important role which you see in the, whether it's any products such as Salesforce as a CRM or an Oracle or a SAP or a ERP, right? So not only in the world of the cloud, but also in the world of the on-premises solutions, this role plays a very vital role. And that's where I say that it's a product agnostic role. And what it brings to the table is the process, how you drive the overall concept of this specific role, right? So in this, what aim which we follow is to deliver the one of the quality training that covers the solid fundamental knowledge on the core concept with a practical approach, right? So broadly, we want to ensure one important thing, that we not only cover the key aspects, the key topics within the modules as theoretically, but we also give you the resources, a kind of a hands-on practice resources, which will help you to to get into that self-learning mode and also do a lot of practice session, which will enable you to really kickstart your career or a current transition from your current role to the another role, right? So that would be the overall vision which we would be covering over here. I'll just take a quick pause of 30 seconds. If anyone has any question, feel free to interject, right? See, the idea is that we have to make this demo session a little interactive. It shouldn't be a kind of a one-side monologue, which I'm giving. So any question, please let me know.
No.
So what kind of prerequisite is required for this, like, for Salesforce business analyst? Is it like Salesforce admin course or like business analyst course, or how it would be a combination of the both, and who would be eligible to do this course? Yeah.
Well, that's a good question. So this is purely a business analyst course, which we are going to cover as a part of this overall program of close to 30, 35, 40 hours, right? Now, another part of your question is, what is the prerequisite of this, right? So prerequisite would be nothing, right? Because it's not a product like a Salesforce administrator or a Salesforce cloud consultant certification, which we are getting into, because that's where the prerequisites comes into picture.
Mhm.
The moment you get hand-holded on this specific module, right? You might be a developer right now, you might be a tester right now, you might be playing different multi-facet roles within the IT organization, right? And you want to shift your career into consulting, into business analysis. That's where this is going to give you that edge to move your career from one role to the another role, which is the powerful role within the IT world, right? Number one. Number two is, no matter which product or which technology are you associated with, are you working as one of the guys within the Salesforce ecosystem or the SAP ecosystem, or Oracle or any of the product ecosystem, right? The way we have defined this role, this is going to fit in the integral part of any product or any of the IT world which you are being part of at this point of time.
Okay.
What additionally we would like to give as a part of this, I have covered as a part of the following slides, so I'll definitely walk you through that.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, sir. My question is that do we require a hardcore knowledge or just a little knowledge about everything to become a Salesforce business analyst?
See, the business, that's a very good question, right? So to become a business analyst or a consultant, I think when you will get through this, go through this entire training program of this 30 hours, which we have designed, right? What we have done is we are going to cover all the key topics which a business analyst does in his day-to-day life, right? So for example, you interact with the customer. How do you conduct the workshops? How do you gather the requirements, right? What are the ways in terms of creating the requirement document or a user story document? How the overall software development lifecycle works, right? Which we call it as a SDLC, and the different other roles and responsibilities which a business analyst holds, right? And we will also help you to do the practical of those things, right? Because as a business analyst, many a times, right, a bigger projects do have a quite a high count of head counts. Like you will have a project manager, you will have a program manager, you will have a business analyst. But if you see on a broader world in an IT, business analyst many places drive a lot of responsibilities of the overall project on his own shoulders, right? He will plan the sprints, he will plan the project, he will even keep a track of how the progress of the implementation is going on, and so on and so forth, right? So to answer your question, this theoretical plus practical, which we are going to cover as a part of this program, training program, is going to enable you to hit the transition from day one. You don't need any, you will not need any hand holding, or you will not struggle if tomorrow, if you give for an interview outside for some other organization, or internally also if you want to transfer your role. Yeah.
But sir, in LinkedIn, I saw various opportunity like a Salesforce business analyst, and they have mentioned you should have good knowledge of Aura, LWC as well. And in your curriculum, it is not mentioned. Is it like something like this?
No, so let's understand this difference, right? We haven't designed this course specifically as a Salesforce business analyst, right?
Okay.
It's a business analyst, as I have been constantly saying from start of the presentation, right? It's a business analyst course, which is going to help everyone, whether it's from Salesforce world, whether it's from non-Salesforce world. Point number one. Point number two, when you say the basic understanding of LWC or a Lightning or a VF or S controls, Apex, anything, right?
Yes, sir.
The basic understanding is something which you can get even without doing the administrator certification of Salesforce, if you really want to pursue your career in a business analyst, right? Because as a business analyst, what typically you would, I mean, customer or your organization will expect from you. Primarily, you have to do the job of requirement gathering, requirement grooming, sprint planning, all those things, right? So while gathering the requirement, you should have a very clear understanding that what is possible through out of the box functionality within Salesforce and what cannot be possible out of the box, right? And that specific part, if you want us to cover that specific part, we can cover that also specific part. That's not a big problem. But ideally, how I see this overall is a person should go for an administrator certification and administrator training to get that high level understanding of the platform, Salesforce as a platform. And on top of that, if he does business analyst course, it would be an added advantage for him. If someone is only related to Salesforce and want to go a step one or a step two in the world of Salesforce. But this training will not only cover the ones who are in world of Salesforce, but also who are not in the world of Salesforce. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, Pratik, I have a question. So, are we going to learn anything about the Salesforce in this course or not? Because that what link which I got from this SV Tech, that they have mentioned that it is Salesforce Business Analyst course.
Yes,
So
same.
along with business analyst course, we will be learn Salesforce stuff as well.
Yes, we will. As I said, that see, there are two parts of the training, right? One is the product, another is the process, right?
Okay.
So as a part of the product, so we will first business analyst, as you know, that it's not only encountered in world of Salesforce, it's encountered everywhere, number one. So we will help you to get you all the arms and ammunitions so that you will be a good business analyst, number one. Number two is the product. Since we are part of the Salesforce ecosystem, whatever as a business analyst, the level of understanding which you should have, as for example, what is cloud computing, right? Let's start from basic. What is cloud computing, right? What is, why we call Salesforce as a SaaS platform? What is SaaS? What is PaaS? What is IaaS, right? Software as a service, platform as a service, information as a service, right? What Salesforce is What are the different cloud solutions within Salesforce? What are the basic things within Salesforce? We are going to cover that. And we will also give you the certification material, which will help you to go yourself and get certified in one go. Right? So the way we have designed our certification material also, that you don't have to really make a preparation something beyond that. Does that answer your question?
So my question is that because few of my friends who work as a Salesforce BA, and they are saying me that the course, if you learn business analysis, and in Salesforce BA there's kind of ecosystem and role and responsibilities are kind of different. So because you need to create some object and some tables and few things are there, some syntax you're supposed to need to know, and it works little weirdly than regular business analyst. So you would have thorough knowledge about all the Salesforce UI and some components and kind of things, and then you will able to drive the team, and then able to, you will understand the requirement, and you will able to pass to your Scrum teams as well. So that's the reason I'm asking that, how it is Salesforce BA things works. I have no idea. Whatever I got to know from my friends only, then
Okay.
and yeah.
Understood your question. So let me first remove that myth from your mind. There is nothing like that. Those scenarios are very exceptional, especially in the smaller organizations, right? I have also played a business analyst role during the very early start of my careers in the organization like HP, Avaya, VMware. So it depends upon the organization to organization. See, if you're part of a startup, if you're part of a organization where the team is very, very thin team, right? A very small team. What happens? One person plays multiple roles, right? But if you worked in a proper structured environment, every person is responsible for his own roles and responsibilities. You're getting my point? But having said that, as I said, no matter whether you're part of a bigger organization, a smaller organization, this training will cover all the details for you, all the basic concepts. You really don't have to get into a thorough of the components and the apex level, because that's where there is a wall, right? See, if a business analyst will do everything, then what is the expectation from a developer or a administrator, right? Those expectation, there has to be a different roles and responsibility for every role.
But sir, I have a question.
Yeah.
So suppose if the business analyst is gathering the requirement from client, so as a business analyst, he should at least know what client is saying, what is talking about the batch, what kind of code is talking about. We should have at least the basic knowledge, no?
Absolutely. So if you would have heard, I told you that in this overall, we are going to cover the product piece also, the basic product piece. Number one is, whenever a business analyst gathers a requirement gathering doesn't happen only with the business analyst, right? A requirement gathering sessions also have architects present, or the tech leads present within the requirement gathering workshops. Whether it's a classroom requirement gathering workshop or whether it's a field requirement gathering workshop, right? So tech folks are always there. But having said that, a business analyst should also have a very basic concept, and that basic concept is going to be covered.
Yes, I got it.
Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah, ultimately, I'm good that you are having a lot of questions, because see, end of the day, if we will not clarify our questions, we'll not be able to understand that where are we heading to, right? But give me a few minutes. Let me cover those slides which I have prepared for you. It will give you enough information, and we can have more Q&A post that if we do have the time, right? So primarily, if you see you are going to cover what business analyst does in a typical day in and day out in his life. You will understand different business cases which aligns to different business objectives. You will have a, you'll be enabled, have that level of confidence to successfully drive the, workshops, the different meetings, the clients meeting, stakeholder meeting, right? We will also go through a different project methodologies. You will also understand the different techniques and the tools which is used in the world of the business analysis and in the world of the sprint planning or scrum planning, right? We will also cover the details around different user story grooming, prioritizing, story point estimations, documentation, so on and so forth, right? So there are many things. Definitely, as a part of a foundation, if you see, we'll give you the very basics of business and analyst roles and responsibilities, the different types of business analysts which you have. What is a business analyst, right? What are the key activities they do? What are the skills they should have? What are the values at the end of the day which you're going to bring on the table, right? Because every role expects some kind of an outcome. It's today's IT world is driven as a success outcome, right? So that value, that process mapping with the customer's mindset is something what is important. How to do that, right? That's where, customer will appreciate you. What is the cloud computing? What overview of, the SaaS, PaaS, EaaS, the complete details. And additionally, we will also cover some of the Salesforce different cloud solutions. Within cloud solutions, high level features, functionalities, we are going to cover that also. So don't worry. This is a detailed, topics which we are going to cover. I'll not read all of them, but let's have a quick glance of this and let me know if you have any questions. This is totally related to your process driven aspects, right? Any questions on this slide?
No, sir.
Okay. So additionally, and I was having this discussion with Kishore from SV TechnoShop as well, right? So we started with the foundation because in today's world, every person is doing some or other kind of a training programs. What is that differentiator, right? I personally feel that at the end of the training, if you are not able to get as an outcome in terms of transitioning your role rightly or changing your job from one job to a better job with a better pay package, things doesn't really give you as an end outcome. And that's where with the kind of an experience I have, I would like to share some of my learnings. Sorry. Sorry, is there any question? So those who are not talking, can you please go on mute? Okay, so what I was saying is one thing which is very important, that every individual within this training, right? I can see there are 12 people, 11 or 12 people roughly who have joined. See, one thing is very individual, that every one of you might have come from different background. I'm sorry, Kishore, can you mute the individuals who are not talking? Okay. So every individual of you come from a different background, I was saying, right? And your problems, struggles would have been different too, right? And your desires to go next also would be different too. So one thing what we'll do is we will have a, couple of sessions just to understand your personal career goal. How do you want to elevate it? And I would like to spend some time on that in terms of giving my learnings, my guidance, my experience in that, in the last 14, 15 years, what I have been in the industry, right? How you can shape up towards your career, right? We'll also cover how you are going to cover your Salesforce Business Analyst certification. So we are going to cover that piece. I will help you. I'll give you some exercises which you also have to do on your own, right? Apart from Salesforce Business Analyst, if someone wants to go for any other business analyst course which is there in the market, right? So something like business analyst certified from ICAP or iSkills, we can help you with that resources too. One very important thing is that many a times, we have a lot of knowledge. We understand the basic concept. We know on the ground how to execute things, right? But a bigger problem is what happens is we are not able to brand those things for us, right? And branding is what is very important. And that the first step where the branding starts is your CV, right? If you will not call out things properly in your CV, if you will not call out things in a chronological order in an interview, if you will not highlight some of the things, no matter what you bring on the table, no one is actually getting an eye on that, right? So one thing what is important is branding, is that we will cover that piece also as a part of this program. Because as I said before, right, see, our end goal is not to give a training, wash off our hands and go away. Our end goal is that if I'm training my 20-25 folks, or they are making some difference in their current career, and that's where that overall change what you really want to bring in the ecosystem is you can see that, right? So that's the goal. That's the quick highlight which we wanted to cover as a part of this. Any questions? So that's all I had in terms of the slides to cover for today. But I'm more than happy to answer any of your queries or concern if you have. I don't want any one of you to go with some level of confusion and queries in your mind. Let's clarify that.
Hello,
Yes.
sir. Currently, I'm working as a Salesforce administrator.
Yes.
But I work in a product, and it is just like a support role for this
Okay.
product.
Okay.
So basically, my doubt is just that I had two options. I can go for in a same Salesforce. I can just switch the company and go for a Salesforce admin. The second one is I can learn the development, and third is I can switch to the analyst. The BA. So
Yeah.
can you please guide me about this?
Sure. So see, if you're working as a Salesforce support analyst at this point of time,
Yes.
I'm 100% sure. So you're working on the tickets.
Recording in progress.
Right?
Yes.
And you understand the basic concept of Salesforce, all the point and click, the
Sir,
out of the box functionality, right?
unmute that user.
Oh,
Your voice is breaking, sir.
Can those go on a mute who is not talking, please? Is it Suhan?
Sohan, can you please mute yourself? Otherwise, Pratik, you can go to participant, you can mute to him. Yeah, okay.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Okay. Am I talking to Shripad?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Shripad, what I was saying that as a part of a support role which you're playing, you have the basic concept of Salesforce, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, as you rightly mentioned, you have a couple of options where you can take your career either into a development role or into a business analysis role or into an administrator role.
Yes, sir.
So let me put it in this way, right? Uh, from a scalability, when I say in terms of a longer run of trajectory of your career, see, no one can be an admin and keep and be remaining as an admin and grow in their career. It's the end game after a certain years of time, right? Development is that one trajectory which will take you to, you can start your career as a developer, then you can go as a tech lead, you can go as an architect, a solution architect, a technical architect, so on and so forth, right?
Yes, sir.
And this another trajectory which is consulting. So this trajectory helps you to be closer to your customers. So see, I also started my career back 14 years back as a developer, right? And I was also having this option in my mind that where should I take my career to? So majority, I will give you a very honest answer. Majority, it's you understand that which is your comfort zone, right? Is development your comfort zone?
No, sir.
The answer for me was also no. And that's where I thought that I like to talk to people. I like to resolve their problems. I like to solve. I look myself as a problem solver, right? And that's where I thought that why don't I take my career ahead in consulting or business analysis? And if you see, business analysis actually opens the door for you to get into multiple things. As the moment you become a consultant, you can actually get into a role of a project management or a program management. And even if you don't want to get into any of these roles, it's so easy for you to transition your career into tomorrow into sales or pre-sales or customer success, so that actually the playground is bigger. So,
Okay.
so that's where you have to look. It's all of a personal choice, which comes as a very important thing. If someone has that DNA of becoming a developer, an architect, I will strongly tell them that please pursue a career in that. But don't set any benchmark for you which is not your comfort zone, because you will be able to excel in your career more if you are there in your comfort zone and if you are playing on your strengths rather than playing on your weaknesses, right?
Yes, sir.
Any other questions, guys?
Hello.
Don't think any question is a stupid question. Every question is an important question. If you have any question,
Hello.
let's utilize this time. Yeah.
So
This is Archana.
Yeah,
Now
Archana.
I'm working in Salesforce, and my job role is document verification. But which course is good so that we can move ahead and move from one role to another role?
First of all, let me ask you, Archana, which role do you aspire to be part of? Have you thought of that? What do you want to become tomorrow?
Okay. So I need a basic knowledge for Salesforce.
Mm-hmm. So this is one thing, right? You need a basic knowledge on Salesforce, but Salesforce is a humongous ecosystem, right? If you see in Salesforce, there are administrators, developers, consultants, architects, BAs, right? there are a lot of rules which is there within Salesforce ecosystem. So first of all, see, product is that one thing which you should not worry, right? Why I'm telling you is the choice of the product which you want to be with, whether it's Salesforce, whether it's AWS, whether it's Google or anything, right? Product is that one thing which is driven by how industry is positioning right now. Which product is the most demanded product in the world at this point of time, right? That's how you make a choice of the product learning. And process learning, whether it's a business analysis, consulting, program management, project management, these things will help you in a very longer run in terms of no matter which role you play tomorrow or which role you don't, right? So currently, if you are doing currently, if you are into a job of a document verification and you want to make your career into Salesforce, what I would suggest is go for this training, and as well as you also have to go for a Salesforce administrator training, right? Both the trainings. As a starting step, I always advise my fellow guys that don't do too much of an investment during the start. Don't think that I have to learn 5 things and then only I will start my career. No, it's not the right thing. First, go for one important thing. For this training will cover your process and it will cover your basics of Salesforce plus your certification. So it will give you enough of resources through which you can help in transition your career and start a new role in the Salesforce ecosystem. Once you get in the ecosystem and start a new role and start doing that, you can always keep enhancing your skills, right? And that's what everyone does.
Yeah, Pratik, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So, are you going to teach about Jira and Confluence and
yes, we will cover all the PMO tools, whether it's Jira, Rally. See, these are tools, right? It's end of the day, how I look at this is every organization uses their own different tools and toolkits and everything, right? Some organization use Jira, some Rally, but the concept is what, if you understand, I think you can do the same work. I can design Jira within Salesforce. It's a very easy thing. Create a customer object, create fields, define a process, right?
I am from non-IT background, so I have no idea about
Okay,
like how
okay. Even if you are from a non-IT background, not a problem. Don't worry. I'll cover all those aspects. Don't worry.
So second thing is that so the Salesforce BA, it would be like, or like it would be like Salesforce product owner, or like will I work as a product owner or BA? And so are we going to learn the agile methodologies as ecosystem, or the waterfall methodologies ecosystem?
Both. Okay. Because tomorrow, if you become part of any project, you cannot guarantee that the project will only operate in agile Scrum model, right? There are organizations which still use traditional waterfall methodology, right? So we should learn both the things. Number one. Number two, part of your question is as a part of a Salesforce BA, or even as a non-Salesforce BA, let's say, you will get the flavor of both. It's a combo package.
Okay, so are you going to teach about that both? Like, so if it is agile model, so we are going to write the stories in Jira, and if it is non-agile product, then we are going to write that requirement in any document, something like that.
Yeah, BRDs, business requirement document, functional requirement documents, FRD, functional specification. I'll give you samples for all of those. I'll also tell you how to write those documents, prepare those documents. I'll cover all those aspects.
And I have seen some of the requirements, like they are asking that, along with if you are, along with the Salesforce BA, you have to play the role of Scrum Master as well. So are you going to cover that, like Scrum Master roles as well, or like, or it would be only specific to the BA roles only?
So first of all, let me put it in this way, right? What does Scrum Master does? Do you have a idea?
What I got to know that something watching on YouTube, that he Scrum Master takes the meeting and try to facilitate that Scrum teams, and he helps out to the reach to goal of the product owner. Product owner writes the stories, and Scrum Master conduct the meetings, and he is teaching to Scrum team about agile methodologies, and and based on the practice, he takes the work from them, and and try to finish the sprint or sprint goals, and take the
Okay.
call offs and kind of things. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. So let me put it in my way, right? So primarily what Scrum Master does is every Scrum team, if the Scrum team is, let's say, bigger than 6 or 6 plus, if it's 6 or 6 plus, that's where the Scrum teams are being formed, because you have multiple different Scrum teams within a Scrum model, so that you can do a parallel development. That's the whole idea, right? Now what Scrum Master does is Scrum Master keeps a track of overall backlog within that, which that team is going to deliver as a part of a Scrum outcome, right? So what he'll do, he'll orchestrate, he'll schedule daily stand-up meetings, understand what every person is doing, what are you planning to do today, what did you completed yesterday, is there any roadblock, is there any parking lot items, right? He will also coordinate with he will also play a kind of a role of a project manager, where he will manage and keep a track of everything. That's what Scrum Master does. Now in this program, I'm going to cover what is sprint planning, how do you do the sprint planning, how do you do the story point estimation, how do you gather the requirements, right? How do you track the burn down chart, which is nothing but your backlog versus your requirement completion, right? So if I know everything, tell me one thing, creating this meeting invite, is this a very big thing to do differently in your life? No, right? See, Scrum Master doesn't have any scalability in the career. Organization keeps multiple roles with multiple names, but at the end of the day, if you really get into the depth, a business analyst also drive all those things in many of the organizations. You don't have Scrum Master in every team, right? And now comes to a question, is a product owner, right? So generally what happens is product owners are at the customer side, right? Because let's see, you are a consultant or a BA, and you are gathering requirements from one organization. Let's say the name of that organization is Bajaj, right? Now within that organization, there would be different department, right? There would be a sales organization, there would be a service organization, there would be a marketing organization, right? And you would be interacting with multiple folks or point of contacts within that organization. So when you are conducting a workshop, it's easier to bring everyone in one room, or to have a dedicated session with every department and gather the requirement. But for the for the, for the efficiency of the conversation, what happens is every organization keeps a product owner. That product owner is responsible, and he will be a single point of contact for a business analyst or a consultant, where he will internally manage their team members, their business team members. If you have any clarification tomorrow, he will be the one person whom you will go, and he will go internally and will interact with 10 other people within that department, because you cannot do that, right? You will not have a bandwidth to do that. Also, you will be stuck 6 hours a day into planning and meetings and tracking stuffs, right? So we'll not have that level of flexibility for you, that, for every smaller or bigger query you will get, and you will talk to 10 or 12 people every day, right? And that's not a efficient model. And that's where organizations appoint product owner who is responsible to drive this overall engagement, coordinate and orchestrate internally within their team members, and who knows the business very well, who can give you the business a vision, overall the concept of how they operate their business. And what you have to do is to map their business model with the technology capabilities. And that's where, the both marries each other. That's how it happens.
Okay. So I think one silly question, or you can take as a sincere question as well, that, and you can be candid enough, and you can be honest enough. Like, so what level of that English, or or level of the English will require to be a BA? Because as a normal, we can communicate with in English with people or with our colleagues, but sometimes I'm very afraid that we'll be required to have a super fluent English, or like we have to write super duper cool English in the documents and kind of stuff, and that kind of jargons with, along with the English jargons and along with the technical jargons, we have to deal with that. So back of the mind, that questions always plays in my mind, that will it be really cool to enter in this domain, because English plays a big role in that. So management wise, we can deal with that, but I have no idea that sometimes we have to deal with the client, and clients he's non-technical and his English is super duper cool, and when we have to write all these things, and if things we are not able to understand what he's trying to tell us. So I mean, how do you see that, and what is your experience in that case? And would you like to be honest about that? Hey, that if you're not good in English, then you can be aside with, or you can give up this BA role, or you should go with the only other roles only, or how do you see in that case? Like,
okay, so first of all, see, English is an official language in our world of transaction, right? So there is no option that, I will not speak in English, or I'll speak in some regional language, right? First. Second, now the fluency of the English depends upon how you really get into a conversation, or how you really, practice and keep grooming yourself, right? It all depends on that. It doesn't really depends upon, that you should have a very smart accent and a kind of a, what do we say, right? A very fantastic vocabulary to have a good conversation. No, that's not required, right? We can always have a conversation in a very simple language, in a very simple adjectives and words, rather than using the smart vocabularies, right? But where English is not important, I think English is important everywhere, right? Tomorrow, even if you don't just that, if you have a feeling that I will have to interact with business, how will I do that? It's little uncomfortable for me. So let me ask you a question. Tomorrow you'll be a developer, but after that, what? you will become a leader and a director, sorry, an architect.
Mm,
You have to run the workshops again. What are you going to do at that time? Right?
mm,
So as early in your career, if you will face difficult challenges, that's where you will learn, you will groom yourself. See, none of us, whether it's me, I'll give you my example, right? None of us, whether it's me, whether anyone, was good in something or good in English from day one, right? It's all about practice. It's all about stepping out of your comfort zone, right? The way you interacted me right now, the way you asked me the question right now, you have to do the same thing with them. They don't expect you to use very smart, fancy words. No.
mm.
But slowly and gradually, what we have to do is we have to progress. You can't become Arnav Goswami from day one. Right? So
Acha,
it's a gradual process.
one
That's how I see. Yeah.
last question that, so what I heard that, that BA guys and BA or project management guys, they don't get as good salary as like developer or tester. And second thing is that when time comes, like, company wants to give a mass layoff, then, these are the people first, they are in a list, to kick them out, and not engineers. So, and third is that salary wise, like, after a certain period of time, it has a boundary, like, you cannot go beyond certain salaries, and for that, even, you will require so much knowledge and experience. So the BA and project management guys, like, sorry, yeah. So hello, did you say
Go
something?
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, so my question was that, so putting all the energies and time in this role, how do you see that, career wise, like BA is way better than developer, or it's like equal to like developers
See,
and
there is no
engineers?
comparison like that. You can't say that developer is not good, BA is good, right? And you can't even say that BAs don't get BAs get laid off, developer don't get laid off, right? Every one of you must have been following the news channels, LinkedIn's, Twitters, and you must have seen that Amazon is reducing almost 16% of their workforce. Salesforce is reducing 10% of their workforce. And in that 10% of the workforce, almost 8% is from the product team. All developers, all architects, senior directors of architect team, right? So organization doesn't look in that way, right? However, if you see, developer, architect are the backend, not architects, sorry, but developers are the backend role, right? They in many of the cases they don't directly engage with customer, right? And the teams like sales, business consultant or business analyst, or a solution engineer or a pre-sales guy, a customer success guy, support guy, right? These are the roles which directly interact with the customer. This is a direct customer engagement roles. So what will happen? Organization always take a very, uh, a kind of a formative decision before they touch these roles. You know why? Because that's going to disrupt the overall engagement with the customer. And they don't want to give a bad customer experience. So for example, one person is driving the conversation with the customer, and they will not remove that person and bring a new face. Who is going to coordinate? Who is going to have that similar level of knowledge what that business analyst has gathered? But removing a BA from a project is easy. Sorry, a developer from a project is easy because it's not exposed to the customer. I can get my work done from anyone. For example, I have two developers in my team, Akash and Ajay, and I can remove anyone anytime. It's not going to impact me or disrupt my customer engagement, right? So when these layoffs happen, trust me, I'm telling you, it's a bad phase in the world of every IT person, because I have seen the best and best of people leaving the organization, the best and best of. So they don't really focus on who is the performing guy, who is not a performing guy. Everything drills down to cost. The person, the individual who is holding the maximum stocks, who is holding the maximum salary, organization generally cut down those people first. So generally, you don't really have to think around that. I mean, it's again, I'll say it's a personal choice. Someone want to be in what career is a personal choice, is a personal comfort, but there is no comparison, right? There is no difference. And salary, who says? I mean, I started my career as a BA. I got very handsome salaries. At the end of the day, it all depends upon you, what you're going to bring on the table. If someone has done their masters from Harvard University, and he can still be jobless, and someone has done a masters from some local Indian university, but still he can be the CEO of an organization. It depends upon your branding, how you drive things on your own.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I'm done with my questions. So
Yeah,
Perfect.
Prateek,
I think we
sorry.
are close to our time
Prateek,
as well. Yeah.
Prateek, sorry to interrupt you. I'm so sorry. I'm sure you might have covered most of the points. I just want to have one question
Yes.
before we wrap it up. So, Prateek, I just want to understand, like, as a BA role, what is the level of the understanding of Salesforce is required in terms of coding and in terms of the application. See, I understand as a BA role, you will communicate, you will have a lot of interactions with the client, and you try to explain them what is the benefits of using Salesforce applications on their uh, on their website. So that way I understand, but I just want to understand technically how sound should be a BA.
Perfect. Am I speaking with Ramakrishna?
Yes.
Okay. So thanks for your question, Ramakrishna. Superb question. So see, as a part of a BA, definitely you should have a very basic sound level of understanding of product. In any IT world of ecosystem, whether you are part of, whether it's Salesforce, whether it's non-Salesforce, right? When I say basic level of understanding, you should understand what Salesforce is. You should understand what are the different products Salesforce has. You should understand on a very high level, the overall automation and the features and the functionality a Salesforce can deliver, right? That one high level session will give you a broader level of insights that what is possible out of the box, what is possible not out of the box. That means for which we have to go for a custom development, right? However, just one clarification which I wanted to make, not only to you, but everyone on this call, is requirement gathering workshops are not only done by business analysts. There are technical architects also present while these workshops are conducted, right? The reason why technical architects are there, because business analyst cannot drive everything. He is not an architect. He is not a pure technical guy, right? So there is no expectation which any organization keep that my business analyst can have, can drive everything all alone. Absolutely not, right? So if you have good basic understanding, you can always feel confident that you have that cutting edge. You have that extra layer of, cream on your plate to drive things. But there is no expectation that while requirement gathering, a customer asks you some question, so how can you be stuck on that question? You can get stuck on that question. You have authority to go back and tell them that, boss, let me check and come back to you, Mr. Customer. That's how workshops happens. So if you are little concerned in terms of your technical capabilities, I think you should not get concerned on that.
Okay. Okay. So, Pratik, in continuation of this question, so in this current, the curriculum which the BA is, so this is a 1.5 month course, right? And so, do you think will this time be sufficient for us to, once we complete the course, what would be the, the slack time to, to ensure that I'm good with the concepts of BA, which I'm going to learn it and which I'm going to perform as a definitely I wouldn't be going as a fresher. But yeah, so even to sound as a tenured guy in BA, so what do you think with this 1.5 month of course, when you go outside the market and when you try to portray yourself as a BA,
Yeah.
so what do you think this course would be able to cover all those key areas which on a regular BA roles and responsibilities would perform?
Yes, yes, absolutely. This course, that the way we have designed this curriculum, so the curriculum has been designed primarily in three different parts. Number one is we're going to cover the typical, all the roles and responsibilities, all the key activities which a business analyst perform in a day in, day out life. Number two, we'll give you a high level view of Salesforce product also, a very high level view, which is more than sufficient for you to kickstart your transition of your career right from day one. And we will give you the resources for getting certified as well. Again, how I do see personally, people run for certification, but how I do see personally is, certification really doesn't matter. If you have enough knowledge, if you can present your knowledge in an interview, that's way more beyond. But let's see that if you have a certification but you're not able to bring that level of skills on the table, actually it backfires, right? But this curriculum has been designed in a way that you can transition, you can kickstart your career in a BA role from day one, because the theoretical and the practical we both are going to cover. So the moment you go through the practical stuff, you yourself will feel comfortable, right? It's a very human driven nature, that if we start doing things on our own, we learn it enough, we learn faster and we learn better, because we have a hands-on experience on that, right? If tomorrow you are being asked to create a project plan, maybe agile or a waterfall project plan, or to create a user story, and if you have already done that before, how to do that, it's a cakewalk for you.
So are we going to deal? So are we going to work on the user stories? How to write user stories?
Yeah, absolutely. We will do that. We will do that.
Okay.
We'll do all the practical hands-on session, because that's what I said, right? It should help you to get an outcome from day one. That's the vision and intent.
So this course would will be Monday to Friday?
Timings, probably I'll just sync up and we will publish that to all of you. Mostly we'll try to keep it in a time where we can accommodate maximum folks, and everyone's comfort as well is something which we can take a look. But we'll confirm you. Timings is not a big problem. We can work it out.
Is it that, I mean, just want to understand, is it in the morning batch or is it in the evening batch? So that based on that, see, currently, to be honest, I'm currently in US, so
Yeah,
I just want to check. Yeah,
morning is the preference at this point of time.
okay,
Right? Yeah.
Sorry, Pratik, I have one more question. So, are we going to be doing this session like in the live project that we are going to be explain our interviews? Are you going to be give a specific projects to elaborate in the interview?
I'll give you specific business use cases, and that's where we can have a learning on those business use cases. And the best part is, while we are discussing on the specific business use cases, you can also clarify your doubts with the business cases which you have come across in your past, right? And we can have a discussion on that, and one discussion can help multiple folks, because your answer of your question can help others also, right? So that's where, to make that interactive, I think we are going to cover those things, so that's would not be a problem.
So we'll also get the recorded sessions, right? I mean, post the class, so that
Yeah,
we can go
we'll
back and review
we'll
it.
record all the
Yes,
sessions. You can
each
refer.
and every day class will be recorded that we can publish on daily basis. Okay, you will get lifetime access on that.
Okay, thanks. Thank you, Kishore. Thank you.
Perfect, guys. I think we are up time, right? So the interest of time for everyone, will conclude this call. It was really great interacting with all of you. I hope it was useful, it was productive, and would love to see all of you in the proper training program. Any question, anything, please reach out to Kishore, and we can help you to get that level of comfort and understanding, and any query if you have. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone. Thanks for your time.